Hi there, good afternoon. You're watching Market Fatafat on ET Now. I am Snehi Shah. With me is Ankita Saxena. And viewers, this is a show where we'll be taking you through all the big buzzers in today's trading session. And mind you, there's lots since we're coming out of a long weekend. So lots of stocks to watch about. And the impact is being seen on the market as well, because the markets are looking pretty good today and almost a 500-point uptick coming in on the Nifty 50 as we speak, 2% higher, Ankita.
Absolutely, Snehi. It's a terrific Tuesday that's coming in. In fact, we have recouped all the gains that all the losses that we had seen since 2nd of April, since that whole tariff saga started. Nifty is sitting pretty above the 23,300 levels. In fact, there has been a one-way move as far as the benchmark indices are concerned, and even the broader markets. There has been no sell-on rise that is coming in. It's just a one-way move that's coming in on the benchmarks and the broader markets. So the small caps up 2.8%. That's outperforming right now. Benchmarks are also doing pretty well for themselves. Nifty Bank and the financials are leading the pack from the front. In fact, financials are doing very well. Nifty Bank is up 2.6%. If you look at the couple of names, you have IndusInd Bank that was a top 50 gainer. That was trading with gains of almost 6.8%. There's Axis Bank that's up 3.5%. HDFC is also lending a lot of support to the Nifty with gains of 3.5%. Now, remember, HDFC, has cut the savings rate, and on the back of that, and a bullish brokerage note that is powering the stock there. Post the RBI rate cut, HDFC has given a relief on the savings rate as well, and on the back of that, HDFC is in focus today. Also, we have HDFC, AMC, Jio Finance. Both are trading with gains of upwards of 4%. And besides that, we also have a special mention to the Adani pack, because Adani Enterprises, Adani Ports, these two counters are also trading with gains of upwards of 4%. Adani Green is also trading with gains of more than 4.5% on the back of positive quarterly updates. So the entire Adani pack is also in focus today. Besides that, we also have the auto pack that is in the fast lane today. Of course, Trump came out and said that there might be some sort of a tariff relief as far as the auto and the ancillaries are concerned. And on the back of that, we see Tata Motors, Samvardhana Motherson, Sona BLW, who are doing pretty well. Even Axis Cap has come out with a note that says that these three are going to be a primary beneficiary if the tariff, we get a tariff reprieve. And look at Sona BLW, that's up and away 7% in trade. So market breadth is very, very positive right now, Snehi.
Absolutely. In fact, the small cap end of the market is also holding up very strongly, outperforming the benchmarks right now. So looking very good when it comes to the market breadth as well. India VIX is also lower by at least a double-digit cut, almost 19% fall coming in on India VIX, looking very, very good in today's trade. But let's move on and talk about all the stocks that are in focus. On the technicals, on the technical front, we have Osho Krishan, Senior Analyst, Technical and Derivative Research at Angel One, who's joining us. And from our in-house research team, we have Gaurav as well as Ansh who are joining us. So good afternoon to all you gentlemen. Let's begin the show, and I'll kickstart the show by talking about Devyani International. That's a stock that's up and away in today's trading session, and the stock is also holding up pretty firmly today, and that's on the back of a brokerage note coming in wherein Kotak Institutional has upgraded the stock to a buy rating. They've also hiked the target price, so very bullish notes coming in from Kotak when it comes to Devyani International. Let's understand in detail what this note says. They've upgraded the stock, and the stock now has a buy rating from the earlier ad, along with a revised price target of 190 from 175 earlier. This implies an upside potential of nearly 22% from its closing price on Friday. Kotak expects FY26 to be a better year for Devyani International, led by a pickup in the SSSG metric, which is the same store sales growth, which will also be aided by a lower base, along with some improvement in the underlying demand. Improved execution is another positive trigger for the stock that they're seeing. The brokerage also highlighted 5 factors as to why it likes Devyani International as a stock. KFC's market opportunity, given its strong brand equity and under-penetration in India, optionality of other brands, RJ Corp's appetite for portfolio augmentation, track record for creating shareholder value through organic and inorganic initiatives. These are some of the reasons why Kotak Institutional is so bullish on Devyani International. Very bullish note, a hike in rating as well as target price. The stock is up 4.5% as we speak.
All right, that's Devyani International on the back of that brokerage note coming in. But coming to you, Osho, you've picked out ACC for us on the charts. This one is also up 1.5% in today's trading session. But last 1 month also it has given some good odd moves. It's up 8%. Do you see a breakout on the charts coming in the last few weeks?
Very good afternoon. Firstly, thank you for having me at the show. Well, yes, no doubt. Looking at the technical charts of ACC, the counter is looking very positive to me. Two major developments that is being seen on the daily time frame chart. Firstly, the counter is in a formation of rounding bottom, and secondly, the technical developments on the 14-period RSI. It has also emerged above the previous swing high. So overall, there has been a very strong positive outlook for the counter on the technical perspective. So I'm expecting that in the coming period, there is a higher possibility for this counter to test the zone of nearly 2150 to 2200 in the short term period. So one should definitely try to gauge the momentum in the counter in the coming period. And once it breaches the zone of 2200, then we again need to review that whether it can continue its uptrend or there can be some sort of profit booking around the same zone. But overall, the technical structure is very positive and one can look for buying opportunity in ACC.
Okay, so that's a call coming in on ACC. Before we move ahead and talk about some other stocks, let's just bring in to you an expert voice that we're just getting in exclusively for you. The Indian economy will progress despite growing global uncertainty. That's the word coming in from Sanjeev Puri in an exclusive chat with ET Now. He also added that while there is some risk to GDP growth, long-term drivers are still intact. Let's go across and listen into this exclusive voice on ET Now.
The Indian economy has its own momentum. And despite the uncertainties, I think Indian economy will progress. Economists have, quantified the element of the risk maybe between 20 to 50 basis points. But the fact of the matter, Indian economy has its momentum. There are strong domestic drivers of growth. I think so. Indian economy will be resilient. There is a very strong focus by the government on policy making, reform process, and the spirit of enterprise in India. I think gives a lot of resilience to the economy. There are several sectors in the Indian economy that are doing well. GCCs, tourism, right? There are a lot of investments happening on the future-facing technologies, electronics, semiconductor, renewables, right? So a lot of sectors are doing well. Right? So there is. Indian economy will continue to, I think, progress, and what we are looking forward is really to this, bilateral trade agreements with, of course, we all know that US, EU, UK, all of them are under discussion, and all of them have had impetus this year. So we hope to see it sooner than later, maybe before the end of the year. And I think that provides an opportunity for Indian industry to integrate with global value chains. That's where 70% of the global trade resides. So I think overall it's uncertainty not good, but I think medium term is good.
All right, moving on from that exclusive, coming back to the stocks that are buzzing in trade, and the auto pack is buzzing in trade, especially names like Tata Motors, M&M, Sona, BLW. They were trading with, higher, almost 5 to 6% in the early trade, on the back of the fact that after US President Donald Trump signaled a potential exemption of automotive sectors grappling with high import tariffs. Now, Trump said in a statement that he's looking to help some of the car companies that are in the process of shifting production back to the US from countries like Mexico and Canada. Now, while details were pretty scarce, the comments sparked speculation that an exemption from the current 25% auto import tariffs may be on the cards. Now, Axis Capital has come out with a note saying that Tata Motors, Samvardhana and Sona BLW, M&M are likely to have a positive impact if there is any relaxation, as there were major victims, and they also feel that on SMAIL there is no direct impact, but they largely expect due to the potential decline in US auto industry and any potential impact on pricing due to the negative impact on profitability of customers due to these high tariffs, and relaxation on imports from Mexico and Canada will be a big positive too. And on the back of that, all these auto companies are in focus today.
Okay, so the auto sector is in focus today and stocks are also holding up pretty firmly in the green. But Osho, coming to you for a tech check on Adani Ports, is the stock that you've picked out today for us. In today's trade, the stock is holding up pretty well. Last 6 months, it's seen a steep correction of 14%. But ever since then, the stock is trying to recover. Last 1 month, last 3 months, the stock has done pretty okay for itself. Do you believe that this correction that the stock has seen is now over and the recovery that we're seeing is sustainable on the charts?
Overall, there has been very strong consolidation on the technical front for Adani Ports, barring last week that we have seen a kind of a plunge in the overall market. But overall, if we will be skipping last week and we'll talk about the developments on the technical front, then this counter has seen a kind of a consolidation breakout above the zone of 1160, and again in today's trading session the counter is hovering above 1200 zone in a sustainable manner. So I'm expecting that in the coming period there is a high potential, a high possibility for this counter to give a strong breakout of a strong consolidation from the zone of 1160 and 1060. So I'm expecting that in the short term period 1260 to 1280 is the immediate potential target for this counter, and the time it breaches the zone of 1280 on the higher end, then we can see a decisive upsurge also in the coming period. But for now 1260 to 80 is the immediate target for short term traders, while 1150 to 60 is a very strong support for this counter.
Okay, so that's the take on Adani Ports. Let's move on from that. And Gaurav, Biocon is the stock that you've picked out for us. Tell us what's made it to your radar and what's the news flow here?
Well, yes, Biocon is in focus and also up in trade today, and the reason being that the company has now secured a market entry date for Yesafili, which is one of the drugs. It is actually interchangeable drug, which is biosimilar to a drug called Eylea in the US market. Now, let's not forget that Biocon and Regeneron has executed a settlement agreement to dismiss the pending appeal at the United States Court of Appeal, and at the same time they have also got the pending litigation which was there in the US District Court. Now this agreement will enable the company to launch the drug in United States in the second half of the calendar year 2026 or earlier if possible. Now additionally, let's also not forget that Biocon has also said that the company has secured a settlement agreement in Canada with Bayer Inc., and there also the company is going to launch the drug before July 1st of 2025. So definitely a very positive news flow coming up for Biocon, and as a result when we look at the stock performance also, it is up in trade today, and on back of this we will be also watching out of Biocon.
All right, moving on then from Biocon. Osho, coming to you on Max Financials. Tell us, what do you see on the charts for Max Financials? If I look at the chart for this one is up and away 2.3% in trade today, and you know, in the last 1 month it has given some great moves of 13% in this market. From here on, where do you see this going? Because the financial names are doing pretty well.
See, overall, this count is looking very positive on the technical front. There are major developments that are very positive for the chart structure for MFSL. Firstly, it has given a kind of a flat pattern breakout on the daily time frame chart, which construes a target of nearly 1280 to 1300 in a short to medium term time frame. And also there has been multiple positive crossover of 20-day exponential moving average, crossing over 50, 100 and 200-day simple moving average, and recently the 50-day exponential moving average has also seen a positive crossover. So there are multiple positive developments that has been taking place on the technical front for MFSL. So I'm expecting that there is a high possibility for this counter to test the zone of 1280 to 1300 in the coming period. While on the lower end, the support has also seen an upshift towards the zone of 1120 to 1140. So if in future any dip comes towards the zone of 1140, that should be seen as an opportunity to accumulate the counter, while on the higher end 1280 to 1300 is the immediate target that one can eye for in this counter.
Okay, so that's the take on Max Financial Services. Ansh, coming to you, Cyient is the stock that you've picked out for us. Tell us what's the news flow here?
Right, so the stock is up by 3% in the morning. It was up by 5%. So the company has actually won a contract to support Green Edge hydrogen project in Norway, and this project involves hydrogen production and distribution facility. Now, the project is a part of a JV between Green Edge and Luxcara. Now, Green Edge develops a green hydrogen infra using renewable energy, whereas Luxcara, a German-based asset manager, focuses on renewable energy projects in Europe. Also, if you see on chart, then the stock is trading above its previous session high, and it has also touched 1 week high level. That's the reason why the stock is in focus today.
All right, with that, it's time for us to slip into a short break. But before that, let me leave you with an outlook that Rahul Bhasin, who's a managing partner of Baring Private Equity Partners India, had to share on the IT sector. Now, he believes that the IT will see a cyclical downturn over the next 1 to 2 years, but there are no concerns over the longer term. Let's go across and listen in to what he had to say.
1 year view, 2 years view, I would be concerned that we might go into a cyclical downturn. But I think the larger issue is also productivity change that is going to take place in the tech industry, given the fact that AI has become infrastructure, it's become really cheap. Adoption towards productivity, which people have just about started, I think you will see that playing out. That may have issues structurally on the Indian IT industry. But overall, longer term, I don't see any reason to be particularly dismayed.
Hi there, welcome back to Market Fatafat. Thanks so much for still staying tuned to ET Now. Next stock in focus is Bharti Airtel, and that is what Osho has picked out for us on the charts. Osho, talk to us about what you're seeing for Bharti Airtel on the charts, because last 1 month itself a 10% uptick. Last 6 months also the stock is up by almost 5 to 6%. Tell us what's the outlook going ahead, because last 1 month, 5 days, the stock is held smartly in the positive in the near term at least. So what's the outlook on the charts going ahead?
See, overall, this counter has been very resilient to the market that has fallen in the last week, and overall the technical structure is very positive. In the last 3 weeks, there has been multiple attempts for this counter to give a breakout, but finally, in this starting of the week, we are witnessing a very strong breakout on the multi-week technical chart. So I'm expecting that in the coming period, as there has been a consolidation breakout in this counter, so on the higher end, the immediate target that one can expect looking at the consolidation range for the counter is near about 1900 to 1950 from a medium term perspective, but from short term duration 1750 is a very strong support for the counter, while on the higher end 1860 to 1880 is the target that one can expect in the short term period. So overall the technical structure is very positive, and there has been very strong resilience that has been shown in this counter in the recent period. So I'm expecting that there is a very positive outlook in the coming period, and one can definitely try to get a bullish bet in this counter for higher targets of nearly 1950 in the short to medium term perspective.
Okay, so that's the take on Bharti Airtel. Sounding bullish is Osho on that counter. Let's move on and talk about a stock that's doing pretty well today as well. Ircon International is the stock in focus. Remember, in the earlier part of the trading session, it was up for more than 4%, continues to be there right now after it announced that it has won an order worth 127 crore from Northwestern Railways. As per the press release by the company, S&T Construction, which is a part of Northwestern Railway, Indian Railways has awarded the work to Ircon International to design, manufacture, supply, install, test and commission the microprocessor-based EI system at 20 stations of Ajmer division, along with automatic block signaling and associated indoor and outdoor works of signaling and telecom systems and gears. This order is to be completed by the company in 24 months from the date of issue and the date of letter of acceptance. So that's the press release. That's what the press release says for Ircon International. Positive news flow, big order win, 127 crore rupees is the size of the order win, and on the back of that, the stock is up more than 4% as we speak.
All right, moving on from Ircon International, that's trading up and away 4.5% in trade. To Siet, Osho, Siet is the name you've picked out. That's also up and away to more than 2% today in trade. And in fact, in the last 1 month, it has really started picking up pace, upwards of 6% gain coming in on Siet. So from here on, do you see this up move to continue?
See, overall, there has been very positive development in the previous few weeks for the counter. There has been a strong movement from the zone of 2400 towards 2900 odd levels, and it was on a verge of giving a breakout when we see a kind of a dip in the last week. But overall, again, the counter has emerged around the same zone, and I'm expecting that looking at the technical developments, there is a high possibility for this counter to give a breakout above the zone of 2900, due by just 5 rupees now. So any breakthrough or any closer above 2900 can provide a very strong momentum in the coming period for the counter, and I'm expecting that 3100 will be the immediate target that one can expect in the short term period, while if there will be any continuation above the zone of 3100, then we can expect a decent and gradual upside movement towards 3250 to 3300 from medium term perspective. So one can definitely try to stay watchful in this counter and try to gauge the momentum in the coming period.
All right, moving on from Siet to another counter that is in focus today, and that's Dr. Reddy's. In fact, Dr. Reddy's was up 3% after the company denied reports claiming that it has undertaken a 25% reduction in workforce costs, through large-scale layoffs. Now, in an exchange filing, the company categorically denied the claim made by a news report which suggested that the senior executives, including those earning over 1 crore rupees per annum, had been asked to resign. Now, the report also alleged that the employees aged 50 to 55 in the research and development division were offered voluntary retirement. Now, calling the report factually incorrect, Dr. Reddy said that the company does not comment on the market speculations, and there is currently no such event or information which requires a disclosure. Now, the news report was linked to the fact that the company is allegedly cost-cutting to margin pressures from the Dr. Reddy's generic version of Revlimid and underperformance in the newer ventures such as the nutraceuticals and the digital therapeutics. And on the back of that, Dr. Reddy's stock started ticking up. In fact, it's up in a way 3.6% after the company denied these claims. On the back of that, Dr. Reddy Labs is in focus today.
Okay, so in fact, news clarification coming in, and that's turned out positive for the company. Dr. Reddy is doing well in today's trading session. Osho, coming to you, HDFC Life is the chart that you've picked out for us. Last 6 months, the stock is slightly low. It's not done much. YTD, it's done okay. Last 1 year, it's also pretty okay. Last 1 month, however, the stock is up 10%. So sharp turn from the little bit of a slip that it had seen 6 months ago. What's the outlook going on the charts ahead?
See, overall, there has been a very strong breakout around the zone of 700 for the counter. Previously, also, there has been very strong resilience that was shown in the year 23 in terms of July 23 and again by January 24, early of January 24. Then that was a very strong resistance for the counter. And again, after having a consolidation for almost 3 to 4 weeks, the counter have emerged beyond that point, and I am expecting that with this kind of a breakout, there is a high potential for the counter to start moving on the higher end. Firstly, the potential target is near about 740 to 750, and if it is able to breach the zone of 750, then we can see a higher returns of nearly 800 to 820 in the short term period. So overall, the technical structure looks very positive, and one can definitely expect a decent run in the coming period.
Alright, that is HDFC Life on the chart. But coming to you, Gaurav, Havells is another name that is buzzing in trade. Tell us what's the news flow here.
Yes, Havells is in focus, and the reason being that now company has announced a strategic minority stake in increase in one of the companies called Goldie Solar, and this investment is going to cost around 600 crore rupees to the company for the stake of around 9%. Now, this, as per company, it says that it will ensure the consistent supply of solar modules and cells, which will become a concern to the company. But what is happening is that, as per the company, the rationale is that company has been participating in the solar ecosystem through the sale of inverters, modules and solar cables and DC switchgears, and this increase in domestic reliance on the modules can actually help the company. Other than that, there is some note which is coming up from the brokerages which has highlighted a few points. Now, this note is coming up from Kotak Securities. What they are saying is that Goldie does not manufacture the solar cells yet. It plans to manufacture them in the next 18 months. On the other hand, the other concern that they have raised is that the margins for the business are low if we compare it with the listed peers. And lastly, they are also saying that they do not fully understand the rationale behind buying the company, because when we look at the transaction, it is at a 20 times FY25 EV to EBITDA, which is actually slightly below the listed players. So definitely on the back of this stock is in focus, and this stock is also reacting on the back of the news flow.
Okay, so that's the reason why Havells is in focus. Osho, coming to you, Jubilant Foodworks is the counter that you've picked out for us on the charts. Last 1 year itself, gains of more than 50% is what the stock has seen. But YTD, the stock is taking a little bit of a hit. Do you believe the stock could mirror the 2024 gains this year as well? What's the outlook on the charts when it comes to Jubilant?
See, overall, there has been few observations in this counter. Firstly, it has retested the breakout zone of nearly 590, 600 odd levels in the month of November, and again in the month of March this year also. So I'm expecting that with the retestment of the neckline of a breakout, the counter has again started moving higher, and on a weekly time frame, it is on a verge of giving a view of a verge of a fresh breakout, and it is also in the cycle of higher highs kind of a pattern. So I'm expecting that in a short-term perspective, yes, there is a potential for the counter to test the zone of 750, but on a broader term time frame, if it breaches the zone of 750, then we can see it testing the zone of 820 to 840 in the coming period also. So overall, the technical perspective looks very positive to me, and one can look for buying opportunity in this counter from medium-term time frame perspective.
Alright, moving on from Jubilant Foodworks to Ansh. You picked out Aurobindo Pharma from the Pharma pack for us. Tell us what is powering this stock. This one is also doing pretty well in trading upwards of 4.5%.
Ankita, so actually the company has got final US FDA approval for that Rivaroxaban tablet, and the launch is expected in Q1 of FY26. So US market size of this product is approximately $447 million. Also, Aurobindo now has nearly 540 ANDA approvals. Also, this drug is actually used for reducing stroke risk in non-valvular AF, treating and preventing that DVT and PE. Also, if you see on chart, then the stock is trading with a gain of more than 4%. Also, it is trading above that previous session high and has also given slight breakout from that 50 DMA level, touching 1 week high.
Okay, so that's the reason why Aurobindo is in focus. Drug approval being received from the authorities. So stock is up more than 4.5% as we speak. But on that note, time to slip into a short breather on this edition of Market Fatafat. On the other side of the break, we'll keep it going with all the big buzzers on the fundamentals as well as technicals. So you stay tuned and we'll be right back.
If you like this video, then like, share and subscribe to ET Now.